Today we're going to look at what is called Neo-Darwinism. Evolutionists today are faced with the fact that there is no scientific evidence that supports a slow evolutionary process as Darwin had thought. And as a result, of course, many evolutionists have jumped ship from classical Darwinism. Now, a few decades ago, Richard Goldschmidt came up with the hopeful monster theory, which stated that evolution took huge jumps. For instance, a reptile laid an egg and a bird hatched from it. Although he was ridiculed by fellow evolutionists, this theory has been somewhat transformed into what is known as the punctuated equilibrium theory, and has been accepted by quite a number of evolutionists today. What this is really admitting is that there is no evidence to support evolution as far as the intermediate forms go, because they're just totally missing. Now, references to explosion in writings from evolutionists refer to the sudden appearance of one or many types of creatures. This refers to the fact that there is no sign of evolution leading up to those creatures. So it's like they just came out of nowhere and there's nothing whatsoever that leads up to it. So that's what explosion means whenever it is used in evolutionary writings. It is as though the organisms and creatures came out of nowhere. Now, this is precisely what creationists have said for centuries, but exactly the opposite of what evolutionists have proclaimed. Now, the most notable example is the Cambrian Explosion. The Cambrian time period, as it is referred to, is supposed to be the very first layer where life was formed. These first forms of life are extremely complex. Another idea pushed by Richard Dawkins and others is the idea of Panspermia. This idea suggests that evolution began on Earth by alien seed. Once again, this simply puts off the ultimate question that none have answered. How did evolution begin? No one has ever answered this question scientifically. William Fix, the author of Bone Peddlers, put it this way. He said, "Scientists at the forefront of inquiry have put the knife to classical Darwinism. They have not gone public with this news, but have kept it in their technical papers and inner councils." Dr. D. V. Ager, who was the president of the British Geological Association, admitted, "It must be significant that nearly all the evolutionary stories I learned as a student have now been debunked. The point emerges that if we examine the fossil record in detail, whether at the level of orders or of species, we find over and over again not gradual evolution, but the sudden explosion of one group at the expense of another." So we see that even evolutionists are admitting that the classical Darwinism does not work. Now, that's what basically the evolution that I am addressing here in this course, but when we start talking about neo-Darwinism, we're talking about even much greater miracles than Darwinism itself. So we still do address Darwinism more than anything else. For more information, go to evosecrets.com.